And now it's all set and good and rocking and rolling and tooting and a booting. So we're here. Hello, everybody. We only mute people who are rude and disrespectful. So everybody, welcome to the presentation. Thank you so much for being here. I am Bishop James Long, and happy Saturday to you guys. Happy Saturday. Thank you. Appreciate y'all being here. It is an interesting Saturday indeed. So, yeah, Moody Blues, yeah. Okay, if you have, folks, let's get into the, I guess, the business aspect of it first. If you want to go to my website, you certainly can. It's bishopjameslong.com. There it is. If you're really bored and have nothing else better to do, you can go to my website. Say, well, that's fun. bishopjameslong.com. Now, I want to remind everybody that I do have 4 classes that you can take. And the price is right. I know it's trademark, but anyway, because the price is free. So free. And they're very, very, very detailed courses. You learn at your own pace. And it's pretty cool. So this is what you got to do. Well, thank you. So you go to bishopjameslong.com, click on the class link. And if you click on the class link, you're going to learn angelology, demonology, paranormal studies, and genealogy, all for free. These are really in-depth classes. A lot of work went into these courses. So take advantage of it. It is free. It's my gift to you guys because, you know, you can have the knowledge. That's fine. But the knowledge doesn't do anyone any good if you don't share it. And so as I've worked, education to me is very, very important. I have a master of education. I used to teach kids and adults with learning and behavior disorders. It is so important to me to teach and to share what I have learned with others. That's my passion. I think that's someone asked me the other day about your legacy. You know, you want your legacy to be, you know, the Ghost Adventures, the Bobby Mackeys or the Eli Roth. No, absolutely not. No, I don't want that. I don't want that to be the legacy. That was a footnote. The legacy that I want to leave behind when the good Lord says, James, it's time to come home, is that I took the time to teach people something that I'm deeply passionate about, which is theology, demonology, angelology. Because you see, people, I truly believe this, and this is not cliche. People do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. And by teaching people that's knowledge is power, and you uplift people. And to me, it's just so crucial. It's so crucial. This really is why I want to take the time and start writing a book on demonology. And there's 2 books that I really want to focus on. One book is just kind of like a daily reminder for next year, every single day, for every single month. It's just going to be kind of like a reflection. And I'm trying to put that together. But the demonology book is something that I really want to work extensively on. And who knows, maybe I'll speak to Jason McLeod. You know, Jason does a phenomenal, I love it. Jason is a beautiful writer. Beautiful writer. As a matter of fact, I encourage you, if you have not purchased the Dark Siege books, do it. They are amazing. The way Jason writes, is truly phenomenal. Guys, I'm telling you this. He's a friend of mine. He worked with the Warrens. He was trained by the Warrens. I knew Lorraine. I did not know Ed. But I'm telling you this, if you will not, and I've endorsed his books, you will not want to put them down. Yes, I am. So again, go to darksiege.com, Jason McLeod, McLeod. Honestly, they are phenomenal. Oh, well, thank you. Captain Lou, that's very sweet of you. That is very nice of you. See, it's things like this. It's comments like that really, let me tell you something, guys. You know, we're clergy, we're human beings like everybody else. We have good days and bad days. And when, you know, people say something very kind, like Captain Lou on TikTok said, Father, may I say this? Your blessings Your blessings of your followers, may the Lord guide us pure. I think because there's so much trolling and hate, it's nice that, and I'm not asking for kudos, but it is nice when you have that. So I appreciate that. So anyway, Jason McLeod, make sure you pick that up. Now, I'll get your questions, guys. Just hang tight. If you want to go to the church's website, that's far more important. The church's website is usocc.org. Yeah, I did a documentary there, Junkyard. And you can watch that on my YouTube, and it's free. So again, usocc.org, that's the church's website. Folks, do listen to me. Do me a favor. So as most of you know, we don't get paid as clergy. And we have to find a way. We have a big church retreat coming up in just less than a couple weeks. And there's going to be, quite a few people there. So, there's going to be the snacks. There's going to be a lot of expenses. So here's what I'm asking you to do. If you would please consider going to usocc.org, click on the retreat button. And if you can make a donation of whatever it is that you can to help with the miscellaneous expenses, please do. Because it costs a lot of money to put these retreats on. This actually retreat is about $6,000. It's not cheap. And so that's just for the rooms and everything. That's not including the miscellaneous that we need. So yeah, it's expensive. It's pretty pricey. So if you can, thank you, sir. If you can, just please do that. Or madam, I can't. usocc.org, click on the retreat button. And we would absolutely appreciate that very, very much. And that we'd be very grateful. Let me give you guys a heads up on an update on Miss Wilma. For those of you who don't know, Miss Wilma and we've had the open mic for quite some time, a Saturday kind of a fun show. Miss Wilma is my 70-year-old friend. I consider her a family member, and I've known her for 25 years. Miss Wilma has a lot of health issues. At this point of time, Miss Wilma is quite sick. She's pretty sick. She is still in the hospital. I don't anticipate Wilma getting out of the hospital anytime soon. And when she does, I think that she probably will be at a rehab for some time. We don't know. So I don't think right now I don't want to get into her, her private business as far as what's going on, but it's pretty serious. So, she certainly, you might want to keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She's 70 years old. She has a lot of health issues, but they've kept her in the hospital now since last week, and she's not going home in the foreseeable future. And like I said, I think when they do release her from the hospital, then she's going to be going into rehab. So she's sick. She's really sick. And so I just, at this point in time, I'm not anticipating Wilma returning to the Saturday show or even Bible study anytime soon at all. If not, we don't know. I just don't see it in the foreseeable future. So with that, let's bring in Judy Ann. So hello there, Miss Judy Ann. How are you doing tonight? Oh, sorry. I forgot to.
Oh,
there we go. Okay. How are you doing?
Are you telling me that you didn't get my pie hole close to the mic?
No, before when we were going on air, you forgot to mute your mic, and I heard you making all kinds of noise and whistling out out of your window to all the runners that go by your road, and I had to turn your microphone down. So
you did?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I heard you cat calling all the runners. So
sometimes my enthusiasm gets away from me.
I know.
I wanted to comment on the church retreat.
Yeah.
For people who don't know about this isn't a vacation or a spa. This is a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And Bishop, you can explain what goes on, the ordinations of the clergy, of the Benedictines, better than I can. So I just want people to know this isn't some spa.
Yeah. This is thank you. This is our yearly retreat that we do. We're going to have people consecrated to the episcopacy as a bishop. Father Sean is going to accept the abbot position of our Benedictine community. Our seminarians, Brother Brian and Brother Thad, are going to be ordained to the diaconate. They're going to be deacons. Our postulant Jesse is going to be making her vows to the Benedictine community. Tracy Ann, one of the moderators, and Jesse are also going to be confirmed in the faith. It is going to be a jam-packed retreat. It's going to be very, not only that, but Reverend Elizabeth and our Abbot Tommy, both bishop-elects, will be giving their dissertations for their doctorate of ministry. So it's going to be, it's a big event, and we're excited. We're very, very excited. I love the retreat, but most of the time you go to the retreat to relax, there ain't no relaxing. If you're clergy and you're one of the folks like myself who's kind of organizing it, like a bishop-elect Tommy and Elizabeth, there ain't no relaxing to it. It's nonstop busy, and so, but we're looking forward to it.
Don't you have baptisms as well?
Well, I think there were some folks that were going to, but last I checked, I think there were some issues with the scheduling. So we'll see. We'll see if that's if we do, that's wonderful. But last I heard, I know we have a confirmation, but there was a few people considering the baptisms, but I just simply don't. I don't know. I don't think that's still in the. I don't think that's still in the schedule.
It's a lot to cram into those few days.
It is. It is a lot.
So we've got some expenses still to cover for renting the hall where this is going to take place. So
yeah,
that is why Bishop requested if you can donate, please do. I'm doing that, and
we appreciate
it.
Yeah, and again, go to usolcc.org, click on the retreat button, and just 100% of that will go to helping fund it. And we need to. So the 14th, it's 12 days. 12 days. And by the way, I'm going to try my best to air some of those live. I will be able to do it on TikTok, I think. I will not be able to air it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that. I just simply can't. But I will try to air as much as I can on TikTok. So I will do the best I can. But I can't promise you. So there we are.
Wonderful.
Let me say this is very important too. As a Christian community, if you're Christian or even if you're not, one of the things that people need to stop doing is this denomination elitism, because that's actually a sin. So that's got to stop. We don't do that here on this platform. Everyone is welcome here. If you're a Methodist, Episcopalian, Lutheran, agnostic, even we have atheist friends that are here. Every single person is welcome here. We're not going to tolerate bullying under any circumstance. You will be blocked if you bully. We're going to block you. Period. Dot. The end. We're adults here. This is not a Jerry Springer episode. We don't put up with ignorance like that. But this denomination elitism is actually a sin. So if you're a Roman Catholic, let me make this very clear. I studied for the Roman Catholic priesthood for 6 years. I received my minor orders. I know canon law. I know the catechism quite well. And I also know what Pope Francis recently stated. So if you are Roman Catholic and you're going around telling people that they need to convert to Roman Catholicism, you're committing a grave sin. Thank you. And that's actually not because I said it. It's because the Pontiff said it. Pope Francis made it very clear when asked by a reporter, should we convert people who are Episcopalians or Lutherans and tell them they need to convert to Roman Catholicism? His exact answer was no, no, no. That is a grave sin against ecumenism. He called it a grave sin. So if you are a true practicing Roman Catholic, then you need to follow the Pontiff's teaching. That's a requirement. That is not an option. And so therefore, if you're going around doing this and telling people, well, you're not a real Catholic or you're not real this, then you're actually telling on yourself because you're not a practicing Roman Catholic because you're not following the Pontiff's teaching. So there's this denomination elitism that's occurring. That actually is a sin. and that, according, is to Pope Francis. So let me just make that very, very clear. Miss Wilma is, like I said, she's very sick. She's in the hospital, and I'm not going to go into the details as far as what it is that she's struggling with, unless she wants me to, divulge that information. But she has not told me. She's just very, very sick, and she will not be with us for quite some time. We don't know. It might be a situation where it might be a rare, maybe in the future, or a rare, appearance here and there. We don't know. Okay.
Bishop,
So,
can you clarify something? I have a couple people asking about the donation button.
Yep.
That does take you to an external link, and that for the Fraser name on there, that is Reverend Mother. So she is in charge of that. And I just want to clarify that they're getting the correct Venmo and Cash App.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and there you go, because it's she is in charge of all the finances, gathering all the money together. So Elizabeth Fraser, she is a clergy member of ours, and so yeah, she is in charge of all that. So yeah, when you click that button, you'll see that it goes to the PayPal, and it'll take you there, and you can just make whatever donation you want. I mean, $1, $500, $1,000, whatever it is. I mean, whatever it is that you want to help with, we would be appreciative, because remember, we're 12 days away. 12 days away. So yeah, you can donate that through Cash App, or you can donate to Venmo, either one. And yeah, it's we're the time is the clock is ticking, and we're
down to the wire.
Yeah, of course, this, they're unexpected expenses sometimes that come up, and it's like, oh, not again, here we go again. And so, but it happens. And so, but we're 12 days away, and we're pretty far away from the funding that we need. Bonjour, you can't be a normal human being and show respect. That's sad. That really is sad, Bonjour. So Bonjour, have a good trip. Okay. Really, seriously, just really.
Well, it's on the heels of your message about this church elitism. We get it again. There's only one Catholic Church. So
again, and if those of you continue to say this, you are not Roman Catholic. You are a fraud. You are a fraud, plain and simple. You are a Pharisee. If you're going around telling people that they need to convert, then you're telling everybody you are not a practicing Roman Catholic. You are one of those Catholics that show up maybe for Easter and perhaps maybe Christmas, and then you call yourself a devout Catholic. You're a hypocrite. So if you're going around telling everybody you need to convert, you're not even following the Pontiff's teaching. The Pope made it very clear that you are not to do this, and he called it a grave sin. So if you continue, you're actually just projecting your own true lack of faith in the Roman Catholic Church. So I would encourage you. Well, again, I say this, but no matter what, they continue on. So anyway, I tell you what, there's no hate like the Christian hate. I have never seen, I've never seen so many people who call themselves Christians who have so much hate, judgment, and animosity and intolerance to others. That is not Christianity. That is demonic. So there's going to be a lot of people who's going to have a lot to answer for when they see God face to face, because they've been too busy spending their time here judging other people. So how have you been, Miss Judy Ann?
I have been great. Been very busy, working with my deadlines as usual.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of changes going on right now. We're kind of shifting gears here with the show, since we have that slot to fill. And I know you'll have some information about that at some point today. And instead of the jokes, I have asked people in the past about whether they would like jokes or whether they would like me to ask the bishop some demonic questions, which I try to have about 2 of them every week. And last time it was very popular. So
yeah, Jesse, I don't know who you are, and quite honestly, you follow me, I don't follow you. But let me introduce you something. It's called the block button. Bye-bye,
yeah,
Jerry.
what was that about?
I don't know. Some ridiculous nonsense. I told you to take my picture down. Okay, let me go slow. The picture that you see on my TikTok profile is me. You see that? This is not AI. So I don't have your picture on my profile. You are female. See, I'm a male. And when you look at my profile, this is what you see. People are just, I can't understand some people. They're truly, the gene pool is unbelievably shallow in some people. It boggles the mind, doesn't it? Boggles the mind. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, what is she talking about? Unless she's referring to a very blasphemous suggestion that that's her in the Mother Mary picture behind you.
Oh, well, yeah. Anyway, I blocked her. Bye-bye, troll.
Good.
Okay, yeah. So here's the deal about, we'll get to your questions. Just hang tight, guys. So Saturday show is we're kind of, this is a transitional period. And we have to kind of rethink the Saturday show. So it used to be for quite some time, Miss Wilma, again, my 70-year-old friend and I, we would come on and we would banter back and forth and just kind of make fun of each other and have a great time. Oh, Liberty can't be a normal human being. And so we just can't, that's got to change. And so the format has to change because, again, Wilma is, I think it's safe to say that, that things happen. She's sick. And I don't think she'll come back anytime soon. So therefore, the Saturday show has to change. Okay, hold on. Let me. You know what?
We may have to go to sub chat because I have deleted.
Bear with me for a minute.
Vulgar.
Bear with me for a second. Okay, sub chat is on because the mental midgets who are unable to have an intellectual conversation are again showing that why TikTok has become a cesspool of inbreeding. And so therefore, we're going to have now, unfortunately, I apologize. No, I don't apologize. We're going to have sub chat on. So now the trolls, you can go find another Jerry Springer format where you can fit right on in and everyone will tell you how brilliant you are because of your ignorant statements. So bye-bye, shoo. If you want to chat with us, you have to subscribe. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Okay, there we go. So it's always TikTok. So anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a mental midget, we have to figure out what we do with this show on Saturday because it's changing. And so we have a couple options. And I want to throw it out to you guys and let you guys just tell me what you think. Well, Elizabeth, I mean, yeah, everybody's welcome here. We just don't tolerate stupidity. So what the question is do we keep Saturday show? Thank you. Or do we just scrap it all together and have a no show on Saturday at all? Or do we have something different? So, reformat the show. Understand that, Sundays and Wednesdays are very structured. And so it's Bible study. So there's a lot of work that goes into the Sundays and Wednesdays because it's structured. You're here for Bible study. So I don't just randomly pick out a passage in the Bible and just start rambling for 3 hours. I think it's disrespectful to you. And I think it's disrespectful to God. I just don't do that. So when I teach Bible study, a lot of work obviously goes into this. Judy Ann's there. And of course, next week, I think Father Sean will be with us. So the question then becomes, and even Monday through Friday, even our night prayer is very structured. And our Friday show, it's very structured. I always lecture or have a guest for the first hour and then, talk about articles, answer questions. The Saturday show is supposed to be kind of like just a relaxing, non-structured show. But we have to come up with a different format. because Judy Ann is not Miss Wilma. Miss Wilma is not Judy Ann. And I think it's unfair to try to even continue that because we're two different people. So the question then becomes, what do we do for Saturday? Scrap it. No Saturday show. Have a day off. Or I spoke to the moderators and sent them a couple of messages last night, and we kind of tossed some ideas around. Well, we do a lot of theology, but we want Saturday to be kind of like a lighter show. So I'm thinking, and let me just throw this out at you. Perhaps, maybe, we could do a Saturday show about movie reviews, or the TV reviews, television reviews, book reviews, or we could share favorite songs, whatever it might be. It's more of that type of process. Or I don't know. If you guys have a different perspective or a different idea, let us know. But at this point in time, as it stands now, the Saturday shows is the lowest audience viewed show out of all of them. And actually, we have more viewers during our night prayer than we do our Saturday show. So I guess the question is, because you're here, we want to make this interactive with you. Now, normally what we do, for those of you on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all that other stuff, normally what we do is for an hour or so, we goof off, have a good time, tell jokes, I talk about a few articles, and then we switch over to TikTok. And then the moderators come up on screen and we interact with people. But I've been noticing it's pretty much been the same kind of conversation. And for me, it's getting monotonous. And we have to change it up because it's not, for me, it's just simply not fresh. It's stagnant. And so I would love to know what your thoughts are. And Judy Ann, what do you think? Let me put you on the spot. What are your thoughts on this Saturday show?
Well, I'm reading some of the comments, and I have to agree that, just having fun and being relaxed has gotten people through a lot of hard times. So we might be lower in viewership, but it really means a lot to our regulars. So I don't want to go away, but I liked your idea about the movies, the movie reviews.
Okay.
And what did you call that? The Spook Crew or something?
Yeah, something. I mean, we can throw anything out there, but yeah. See, the thing is that people say, "Well, what do I think?" Here's the problem: I'm a workaholic, and I am. Matter of fact, if I did not do something on Saturday, I'd be climbing the walls because I always have to just stay busy. I can't just. I don't know when the last time I sat down and watched a television show. Because I'm just always busy working on. I also do 17 homilies a week too, so that kind of keeps me a little busy too. But the thing is, I'm doing what I love to do. So we could do like a Saturday night review, and just call it a Saturday night entertainment review. Thank you. Or and then. But see, here's the deal. For those of you on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, you would have to switch over to TikTok. And the reason being is because if we did a music review and someone says, man, I listened to this one song, it is great. I want to be able to play that song. And with TikTok, it's a lot less complicated than it is like with Facebook and YouTube, because it's a pain. It's just a pain. It's just much easier to work with TikTok on that platform regarding that issue. So I don't know. So maybe Saturday night reviews, yeah.
And people are expressing concern that you might need a day off, as I did, but maybe you need a day of rest. Because I want to point out that you are working on your book, and that is going to be released this fall. Is that correct? So if you need more time to work on that.
Not the I don't know, the demonology book. That's going to take some time. That's not going to be something.
No.
Yeah.
No, the
other book. Later on this year, fall into early winter. It'll definitely be out before. I'm trying to, I'd say November, December of this year. Thank you. Because it'll be for 2026.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think, let's see, for instance, you could have someone for relaxation tips, someone who's homemade recipe. Yeah. So we have to figure that out. We have to figure out Saturday because there has to be value to it. Thank you guys. And I don't want to do another, I don't want to teach on another topic because quite honestly, I'm doing 17 homilies already for every week. 17 homilies. And that's not including the books of the Bible that I teach on Sunday. So if you add that on top of it, you're pushing 17, 20 homilies every single week. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then I already teach on Friday, every Friday, on a topic related to the paranormal. So yeah, I think I'm going to probably pass on doing another lecture style because it's already hard enough to come up with a paranormal topic on Friday that I haven't covered 500 times already because I've been doing this for 22, 23 years. So,
well, it was just a thought. You can have a sabbatical Saturday to work on your book.
yeah,
But,
I would go crazy.
Whatever you want, I'm in. I will help. And
I
so
think
are we
Saturday
about
night
the movie
reviews. Well,
reviews?
no, Saturday night
Yeah.
reviews. We can just call it Saturday night reviews. Where for the first, I could still continue to talk about the articles. Maybe articles that you found that's very interesting. Maybe paranormal articles that I found that's very interesting. And then after 9 o'clock-ish or so, then we transfer that over to our friends on TikTok. And there we go. That's just what I'm thinking. And it's also the moderators. The moderators are here too. And the moderators are this is a lot of time. You got to remember, guys, many people just, go on maybe once or maybe sometimes twice a week. They go live. We're going on live every single night. That's a lot. And that's a lot to ask, especially the moderators too. So their paranormal experiences. Yeah. Yeah. We try to do that, Lily. We tried to do that by bringing people up, but it became something other than talking about the paranormal. And I was like, no, it just, so.
It was fun. The time that we had the moderators all on and we were talking about our favorite movies and TV shows, I thought that was a really fun interaction with our viewers. And they would share which movies were their favorites or their TV shows.
Well, maybe we could, I said, Saturday night review.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Saturday night reviews. And the first hour, because on Friday nights, I'm usually so busy that I usually probably have 25 to 40 articles that I find online regarding the paranormal. And most of the time, I don't even get to half of them. And so on Saturday, I can complete that list. And then at 9 o'clock Eastern, then we can go into our Saturday night review. But that would strictly be on TikTok. Because again, if we're going to play a song or something like this, it's easier to deal with TikTok than it is on Facebook and YouTube because they're constantly dinging people and I don't want to deal with it. So something like that,
Yes.
I think that could be because everybody likes reviews and.
Oh, we had fun and it brought back so many memories.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's what we can do and kind of go from there. It's going to take some time. This is what you do you have to kind of put things together and make it organized and make it structured. That's my brain. I can't just loosey-goosey it. I don't like that. When someone does that, to me, it's lazy. And I don't like that. When you're going live, people are giving you their time. And if they're giving you their time, then I believe that you have to offer them something of value. And instead of just sitting, some people just go live and I don't understand. Some people go live, I've seen this, and they're not even looking at or even engaging with the audience. They're playing a game on a computer in which the audience can't even see it. So like I've seen someone was on TikTok the other day and they had a little computer and They were just watching this person playing a game, looking like this on the computer and barely sometimes acknowledging the comments.
A completely
thinking-
unscripted show.
Well, I know.
Do people have that much time to waste? That's an honest question. Do you have that much time to waste to sit there and watch somebody doing nothing?
The person was playing a game, and the people, the TikTok
really?
audience couldn't even see the game that they were playing, and they were sitting there watching. I'm thinking, what the hell are you people doing? I mean, really, you can't even see the person playing the game on the computer, and they were just sitting there watching.
Oh.
And they weren't even interacting, so I don't understand. That's
I think your Saturday, our Saturday show, it's going to be a pilot, right? Isn't that what you call a pilot? It's a new show, and
it's a new show.
Try it out, and I think it'll come together as we go along.
Oh yeah, it takes time. So okay, so let's try that. We'll try it next week.
Okay,
we'll try it next week. So moderators, your homework for this week. For the next week's show is you have to watch, and I would say, remember, we got to fill time. So we can't just watch one movie and then give a 30-second movie review, and then Bishop Long has to come up with filling in the airtime. That's like a root canal. You can't do it. I don't want to do that. That's a root. It's horrible. So if
two people in the chat just said that they have seen people doing a live and the person was sleeping. Are you kidding me? You watch somebody sleeping?
Really?
Yes. Nancy B and was it Kevin? Yeah, both mentioned.
I don't understand. That's kind of weird. Wow.
And Bill said the same thing.
And I don't.
Oh my word!
I don't know if what's more strange, the fact that the person is airing them sleeping, or people sitting there watching them sleep. That's kind of weird. I mean, that's kind of like creepy. That's
I don't think we have anything to worry about here, Bishop.
Yeah.
So,
no.
A few people have said they liked my questions to you, so. If we're going to start the show, shall we start with that? My questions to you, or did you want to start with your stories, or what do you want to do tonight?
Sure. What do you got?
Announcements to make?
Okay. So the announcement is next week. Moderators, I do ask that you have a couple of movies. If you can watch a couple of movies this week, when we get together next week. And make sure your in-depth movie reviews. We can't do like 5 seconds, and then, like I said, then I have to fill the airtime, because then it's like, okay, now what do we do? Because we can't do it. We gotta everybody has to. It's work. It's work to fill that airtime, and so just be prepared. We'll do movie reviews. We can do it segments. So movie reviews, TV reviews. Music reviews, and we can break it into segments. See, this is how anal retentive I am. We can't just, anyway, that's just my mind. That's how my mind works. It needs to be very methodical because otherwise I gotta it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
Peter says he can teach geometry and algebra on Saturday nights. That would be fun, right?
Yeah, that's, that'd be great. Can't wait for that.
That expression was a no. I think that expression was a no.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, what do you got going on there, Judy Ann? What kind of question you got? What's on your mind?
As everybody knows, I am less than novice when it comes to paranormal.
Yep.
I don't like the thought of demons. And when you discussed last night those people that, against your advice, went in and stirred up the demons, and now they've got this problem in the house.
Yep.
I cannot believe that somebody would do that. I just can't believe it. So my first question is, have you ever returned from a demonic or an exorcism and you get home and you discover physical issues like a burn or a scratch or other details that you did not have before you engaged in that demonic?
Yeah. I've had burns before. And the way to, matter of fact, is actually I was at Bobby Mackey's, And it was one of the episodes with Ghost Adventures, and they asked, for me to go and help and just kind of investigate. I said, sure. And I had my favorite digital recorder. It was just my best. I loved it. It was one of those really cool digital recorders that you could take apart, and it came into like a USB, and you can plug it right to the computer. It was really, really very convenient. So what happened was I was in the back room where Zach had his episode, and I remember asking questions, and it felt like a flame torch was right there on my hand, and it caused me to throw this digital recorder, and unfortunately it just shattered and broke, which really made me mad. And I remember a news reporter was there, and they actually saw it, and you could see the burning marks appear just as they were talking. I was like, my hand is on fire. And you could see the 3 marks that appeared right in front of our eyes. So I had that happen before at Bobby Mackey's.
Wow.
Yep.
Didn't you tell me that one night after you had investigated a paranormal, a demonic, that you were taking Kylie out for a potty break, and you heard that vicious guttural growl in the bushes, and you knew it was from that?
Yeah,
Can you talk about
yeah,
that
that
for a
was
second?
so this was when I went to the gates of hell, and we were doing an investigation. That's when all hell broke loose that night, where we saw that creature, whatever the heck that creature was. And when I came back home, that thing, I took Kylie out. Kylie was she was a small little, toy schnauzer. And there's a big field right in front of my home and some bushes. And there's a street there, a small little side street. So I took Kylie out, and she was doing her business. Well, there was this growl that I've heard, I've been to zoos and I've heard a lion roar. And this was a very loud growl that came from a very big creature. It was deeper than a lion's roar, because lions really get deep, much deeper. I talked about this before. It was like someone putting a huge bass speaker on the back and then turning the bass up as loud as they can. And I could feel the growl in the chambers of my chest. It was just that intense. And I grabbed Kylie. I said, nope. She froze. She froze. She heard it. And so I grabbed her. I said, no, we're going inside. But that was one of those things. I don't know what that was. But I know that it was not a good thing. It was not a good thing.
It followed you home.
Sure.
And it's taunting you because you represent the Lord.
Well, yeah, it was trying to intimidate, and it was one of those things.
Wow.
It was a very, when I tell you the growl was deep, it was kind of crazy.
Reverberating through your chest, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And that's a place people always ask, when I go, I don't go there at night, the gates of hell. I don't go to the gates of hell at night. You go to the gates of hell cemetery at night, you're asking for trouble, and you're going to find it. You will find trouble at the gates of hell. Plain and simple.
Wow. Well, my second question, thank you for answering that. Mm-hmm. My second question is, do demons ever fight or scuffle among themselves, or like scramble for the top dog position?
No, they don't need to, because it is really, quite honestly, it's a collaboration, because they share the same goal. So the same goal, it's not so much of trying to get to the top position. The same goal is the utter destruction of the image of God, a desecration of the image of God. So there's no reason for a scuttle or any of it. There's no point. Actually, they work. Sadly, it's like a pack of hyenas. They work together, and with this, because they have the same goal in mind. And so that's
to destroy us.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying, as humans are such social creatures, I'm trying to figure them out. And I don't know if you could actually call demons social, even among themselves. So that's why I had that question. Is it? Yeah, it's like the crab pot, with one trying to get on top of the other. But no, I understand what you mean.
There are several things that unite demonic entities. One, their extreme hatred for God. And even more so, their extreme hatred for us. And so that's something that actually unites them. And they fight for that common evil, and they enjoy it. They enjoy the suffering, the physical, the mental, the intellectual. They enjoy.
I think you once mentioned that they savor the destruction of a human.
They do, because
They
we're
possess
creating
that
in the image of God. We're creating God's image, and this is why I've said all the time that trolling is a symptom of demonic activity, because trolling, the whole purpose of trolling is to say something in hopes that you're going to get a response and watch that person get angry or get hurt. That's sadistic. That's not normal behavior. It is abnormal. We cannot normalize abnormal behavior. And where it's like, oh, they're just trolls. No, that is abnormal. When you use your words and you sit back and you watch and you become giddy, it excites you when you see someone getting emotionally upset because you're using your words to break their spirit. That is demonic. There is no other way around. That's sadism. And as a society, unfortunately, people say, well, it's just social media. No, that's very dangerous. Sadism is not normal.
No, it isn't. And people say, well, can you redeem them, or I want to be friends with them?
No.
They're already condemned, so they have nothing to lose. That's why they're not redeemable.
The idea,
correct?
I've heard people say many times, because I've been in the paranormal field for so long, and people say, well, I was able to cross over a demon. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. If you think that you are your theology is so flawed, number one, you can't pass over a demon. You can't cross over a demon into the light. It doesn't exist. It is that cannot happen. They've already been eternally condemned. So any of us, we cannot, hey God, sorry, we're going to, no offense, trump your statement or your judgment, and we're going to overhaul it, and we're going to lead them into the light, something that you couldn't do. Incorrect. Incorrect. So there's no such thing as leading a demon to the light. There's no such thing as changing the nature of a demon. You can't do it. And if you think you can, then you obviously, unfortunately, don't realize that you've already been beaten. They've already manipulated you. So
Wow.
It can't happen.
Roxy and Bentley, I think it's Denise is Roxy and Bentley. I can't remember. She's asking if you blessed and prayed after your encounter with Kylie, that horrible growl in the bushes.
Well, I always pray. I always do the epiphany of the doors in my home. I always do that. And so that's especially because of what I deal with. See, I made a video on this on TikTok, especially because I'm seeing a lot of people going on social media, and they're doing live investigations in locations that are known to have demonic activity. This is a very bad decision. Now, you may get the evidence, and you may get the growls, and you may get something thrown or doors being slammed, and you may get the views, and you may get the subscribers. But I will promise you, as God is my witness, you are going to pay a price for that. Because this is something, when you're in a situation where you're in the presence of a demonic, you can't turn the channel. You can't turn the television off. It's not a show. It's not a movie. And that's something that I think people need to understand, is that when you put yourself in these very precarious situations, although you may get the great viewership, you're going to pay a price for that. And I have seen it time and time and time over and again and again. I got to do a puzzle. 1 second. I've seen this happen so many times that paranormal teams come and go, or people who say that they are demonologists, or people who say that they're clergy. I've been actively involved in the paranormal field actively for 25 years. So my first time I investigated was 35 years ago, but I've been actively involved for 25. And in 25 years, this was before MySpace was even a thing. Twitter didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist. None of that stuff. We communicated through Yahoo groups. That's how we talk. That's how we communicated to one another. And I have seen so many people, so many teams get involved in these demonic locations, and their entire lives fall apart. Fall apart. People who claim to be demonologists go out and, they investigate and they go live, and their lives fall apart. Marriages, jobs, they lose everything. I have seen it time and time again. And now that social media is so huge, I fear that a lot of people are going to be struggling in the future because of this.
I don't understand it. Like I said, I'm scared to death of that stuff. I have no desire. None. Yeah. But thank you for answering those questions, Bishop.
Sure.
And I know everyone appreciated that too. So, a lot to think about.
Monstar is asking, if a demon appeared in front of someone, could they appear as an angel of God or manipulate someone? They actually, demonic entities quite often, in every case that I've talked about, certainly in every case that I've worked where there was children involved, it was always demonic. As far as the apparition of children. In 100% of the time, 100%. I have never worked, and I've worked thousands of locations. You got to remember, guys, I've been doing this for a long time. And thank you there, Jeff. And so in every case where there were children apparition, it was demonic 100% of the time. And I don't know, perhaps maybe we can argue from a theological perspective, maybe because God would not allow a child who had passed over to be lost or to linger. I certainly think just from an ethical perspective, that would make sense. But I don't, anytime I hear of a child apparition, my red flags go up everywhere. And that's just my perspective. Now, some people may disagree, and that's fine. But I can only tell you what I have experienced. And that's what I've experienced. Okay.
Wow.
This is interesting. Let me share this with you and see what you guys think about this. The Loch Ness Monster is something that's quite interesting. And there's a lot of debate as far as this Loch Ness Monster, does it exist? And T.K. Randall wrote this. A veteran, and now there is actually some real serious money being involved in starting now to kind of research this area. A veteran Loch Ness skipper and his colleague recently picked up something very strange on sonar. So there could be something lurking in the depths of Scotland's most largest loch. Well, the crew of the Loch Ness crew vessel certainly seemed to think so, and they even have evidence to back it up. During a recent trip across the loch, Sean Sloggy and Liam McKenzie of Cruise Loch Ness managed to pick up evidence of something large moving deep beneath them, described by Sloggy as the biggest thing he had ever seen. The object, whatever it was, seemed to be situated approximately 100 meters beneath the surface of the water. The strangeness, quote, the strangeness of it was chilling. It's the sort of thing that leaves you speechless. He says, we've seen all sorts of fish that shouldn't be here, but this was different. We're not sonar experts, but I've never seen anything like it. The pair returned the same location in an effort to pick up the same thing again, but found nothing. So could they have found evidence of the Loch Ness Monster? Well, anyway, you can actually check it out. You can go online and look at this. It's a massive, now there are some arguments that it could be a pool of fish or a school of fish together. Maybe, but this thing is so huge and so massive that there's a lot of, and it was moving in a way that you would think that it was only just one creature. So, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. we don't know. I don't know
Do
what's.
you think there is? Do you think there is a Loch Ness creature? Because I do.
I think there are so many things out there that we don't know. Just like the Bigfoot. I'm a firm believer that Bigfoot exists, not because I've seen one, but because there have been credible sources who said, "Look, I know what I've seen." So that kind of makes me think that there might be something there. I just simply don't know. But there are people that I've seen videos where it appears that there's something swimming upstream, something so big that it's pushing the waves upstream. Now that's not a log. I'm not an expert in streams and how it works and all this other stuff in water, but logs go with the stream. They don't go upstream. And
exactly.
So there's something. I think there's something there.
I think there's something there. Well, remember the fish? Is it the coelacanth that was thought to be extinct?
Yep.
They thought it went extinct 66 million years ago, and it was rediscovered living off the coast of South Africa.
Yeah, we don't know. And see, that's the thing. I think that's the scary part when you're going Bigfooting. A lot of people go out and go search for Bigfoot. I think to me that's a little frightening. That's a lot frightening. Because when you go into Bigfoot, you're out, in the woods, and there are a lot of predator. There's some big time predator out there, and you can become prey pretty easily because you're going into. And let's say forget Bigfoot. You could be walking into a situation where you could be, a cougar, a bear. I mean, there are so many things that you could be walking into that it may not be Bigfoot at all. It could be some type of creature that looks at you as prey. And that's what's kind of frightening to me is when I like going out and finding these creatures. Something is happening. I don't know what it is, but something is happening. Yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of which, there is in Colorado. There's a lot of debate. Some people say it's a possum, but TK Randall wrote this. There's a mystery that is surrounding a hissing creature that's spotted in Pueblo, Colorado. An unidentified animal that was captured on camera has left local residents and wildlife officials searching for answers. And the creature was sighted over 2 nights ago in Pueblo Mohawk Road by a local resident who managed to record a short clip of it using her mobile phone. The video shows a small 4-legged animal with a reddish pink face. The witness, Janae, also claimed that the creature had hissed at her when she approached. When the footage started circulating on social media, local news stations picked up on the story, and before long, there was a great deal of interest in determining what this animal could be. Even Colorado Parks and Wildlife ended up getting involved in the debate. It says, we think this animal might be a raccoon with mange, officials wrote. It's tough to be 100% sure, but the use of the front paws and the size makes us think it is a raccoon. Anyway, locals have since been advised to call this service if they have seen the animal at any time. Could it be? You'll have to watch this. Go online. It is a weird animal. It's a hissing creature spotted in Pueblo, Colorado.
Have you ever known a raccoon to hiss, though? Raccoons don't typically hiss, but a lot of animals do get mange, and they look completely different than what we're accustomed to. So they have been mistaken for, alien creatures. But I have raccoons all over. I've never had one hiss.
Let me, because I've seen this before, and I'm going to watch this again very quickly and see what I think here. Hold on. Let's of course, it's got to be a stupid commercial, and then we'll find out what this sucker is. I saw it before, and I'm going to see if I can see. The news is on now. Let me show you.
Let's see it. So we have something spooky and creepy to show you. I'm embracing myself all night. Oh, what is that? What do we think this is? Where was it? Okay, let me tell you all the
yeah, I don't know. It's really strange.
Okay, so this was all caught on video. This was in Pueblo. No. This was off of Mohawk.
You have to take a look at it. I guess it could be a raccoon. The way it was eating, it kind of reminded me of a raccoon. The way that it uses it, but I don't know. You'll have to watch it. So anyway, go online. Hissing creature, spotted in Pueblo, Colorado, and it definitely, you can absolutely see that if it is a raccoon, you can tell it doesn't look normal. So yes, so Gregorian chant is absolutely wonderful. So if you have, but I mean, as far as provocation, it could be considered provocation, certainly, because if you have demonic activity in your home, let me make this, Deborah and everybody understand, provocation is not going to a location and beating your chest and saying, come on, I dare you to do something. Again, I've said this a million times. You're not provoking, you're inviting. That's different. Provocation is when you begin prayer. So you have a legitimate demonic infestation in your home or location, and you begin prayer. You are forcing the entity to manifest or to leave, one or the other. So, for example, we always start with the litany of the saints. We call upon all the saints above in heaven to be with us at that moment to help fight this evil that's present. So when I go to a location that has a demonic presence, I force the entity to manifest through prayer. And I'm purposely doing this. And so you have to be careful. This is why you go to locations and come on, do something. I dare you to push me. You've not provoked, you've invited. And people get that confused. Okay. So I'm going to do a few more little articles here, and then we'll bring up the moderators probably around 15 minutes or so, and we'll transfer this to just TikTok in about 15 minutes and go from there. How's that?
Okay, so I'll hop off until you call the moderators.
Sounds good.
Correct?
See you soon. Yep.
Okie dokie.
All right.
I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right. See you soon. Okay. So there we go. Like I said, we're in the process of revamping the show on the Saturdays, and I think Saturday night reviews. That sounds like a pretty fun thing to do. Yeah, possum. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, just keep in mind. So for those of you on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, I'm not leaving right now, but in about 15 minutes or so, we're going to bring the moderators up. And the only reason we do this, I can't keep you guys on because you won't be able to hear them. There's no way you'll be able to hear them because I run all the other formats all together. I run the show on 2 different computers. So you have to join us in about 15 minutes or so. We'll be going to TikTok. We'll bring the moderators up, talk about our new kind of a platform and how we're going to do this, and just make it organized. And everybody has to be, it's kind of like co-hosting. Everybody has to be a co-host to where otherwise it's just dead air, So that's a kangaroo with mange. Yeah, did kind of look like a kangaroo. By the way, listen to this. This is crazy. This is actually scary. This is legit scary. Let me just save this. Hold on. 1 second. Bear with me for a second. I'm just gonna. There we go. Did you hear this? This TK Rayner writes this story. This is crazy. I think this would be any parent's nightmare. A babysitter who tried to prove that there was no monster under the boy's bed got more than she bargained for. So the incident, which occurred in the town of Great Bend in Kansas, began when a babysitter who had been looking after some kids struggled to calm down one particularly terrified toddler who was adamant that there was a monster hiding underneath his bed. So keen to prove the youngster that there was nothing to be frightened of, the babysitter knelt down to peer under the bed, only to find, to her horror, that there was a strange man hiding underneath it. The woman did her best to remain calm, though the encounter ended in an altercation during which one of the children was knocked over and the man ended up fleeing the scene. Fortunately, police officers were able to apprehend him a short time later. It turned out that the 27-year-old, who had once lived at the property, had since been ordered to stay away under a protection from abuse order. And he now faces multiple charges, including aggravated burglary, aggravated battery, and child endangerment. And it still remains unclear, however, exactly what he was doing under the young boy's bed in the first place. Now what's frightening about this is a true story. I cannot imagine. Yeah, that would be horrible. And it was in Kansas. So you can look this up. Great Bend in Kansas. That would be, that's scary stuff. I mean, that really is scary stuff. I agree. Speaking of scary things, I don't know why people do this. And we talked about this earlier about paranormal investigators who are not really seasoned. Well, this is by Vivian Roschotti. And it says here, quote, "We don't know what we're doing. Luke Hutchie and Matthew Finlan on being amateur ghost hunters." Anyway, the Canadian actors Luke Hutchie and Matthew Finlan are the co-hosts of the CBC series Ghosting, which recently began its second season. Each episode of the show, which is equal parts scary and funny, sees the duo joined by a celebrity guest as they test their tolerance for the paranormal by spending time inside a famous Canadian local with an eerie legacy. Along the way, they decide whether or not the place is truly haunted. Quote, "The thing that I think makes the show so funny and unique is the fact that we don't know what we're doing." Hutchie tells Q guest host Garvey Bailey alongside Finlan, quote, "The whole gag of the show is amateur hour. We do not know at any point what we're doing, and so I think that is inherently just the funny of it." As actors, Hutchie and Finlan are known for their work in the horror genre, but the paranormal investigations in Ghosting are completely unscripted. Quote, "There is a component of every episode that is scripted. We call it our haunted headquarters." Finlay says, "It's like our Addams family living room, but during the investigations, we have no script to follow. We are referencing Wikipedia and TikTok and the history that we know about this place, but what happens in the room is really candid." But do Hutchie and Finlan really believe in ghosts? Well, Hutchie cheekily tells Bailey that he's the skeptic and the sex appeal, whereas Matthew is the believer in the bookworm. Quote, "I just want the Linda Blair," he continues. "I want to be in The Exorcist where my neck is snapping and I'm flying in the air. Like Diva Down. There's no getting around that one, sister. It's haunted." Finlan, on the other hand, says his neck is prematurely snapping because he's always looking for paranormal experiences. Anyway, he says, "I will say that there were some things that happened this season that I think was inexplicable to everybody on the crew." Says we're in the mine off the shore of Newfoundland, and the cameras weren't rolling, which is why I was always share the story because we didn't capture it. But there was this floating light that we all saw through one of the main tunnel shafts. So myself, our director, and associate director, we all described the same thing without knowing the other had seen it and gave me chills. I don't get it. Are people so desperate that they're willing to do things so nonchalantly? This is what I speak against. I don't support this. I don't support this. And what happens is you have people, you know, they're I guess they're doing this show, and just remember them. Just just remember them. And it could happen 5 years from now, but just remember them. People just don't seem to get it. They work these cases. You want to be Linda Blair? Really? Do you? Let me explain something before you get to that. Linda Blair, the demon has bitten you and scratched you and hit you and punched you. It is causing you to have such an extreme sleep deprivation that your body becomes sick. You become so exhausted. It isolates you from people that you love. It is breaking down your will. You're way past sleep deprivation. You're seeing things in the middle of the night. It's beginning to interact. Sometimes, in some cases, people have told me that they can hear that it's whispering in their ear, and they can smell the foul odor that's coming from this demon that is so repulsive it makes them physically ill. And it begins to interact with you on an intellectual level, and you begin to hear it. And it tells you many, many things that are very destructive. And you get to the point where you're getting so sick and you're regurgitating often and you're at a weakened state and you can no longer fight this thing. And then you go into what's called a catatonic state. You have no memory of the possession, but the demon now has control of your vessel, your body, and does terrible things that are quite unspeakable. And yet you want to be Linda Blair. Stupid. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think if people saw some of the things that I've seen, I think that's what makes me so irritated, is because when people say things like that, it really diminishes what the 33 people that I have worked with, it diminishes what they went through and the suffering, and not only of the possessed, but also of the family, watching their family members deteriorate in front of them. They can't do anything about it. They can't stop it. They can't fix it. They can't make it go away. And they see their family members deteriorating in front of them. And then when the person goes into transient possession and the eyes are going solid black or solid white, and they're no longer there, they can no longer interact with you. You're not speaking to your loved one anymore. This is not a game. It's not a movie you can turn off. I don't get it. Anything for entertainment value, but here's a price you're going to pay for it. Okay. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and X, well, I invite you guys to come on over to TikTok so we can bring our moderators up and do this segment. And then don't forget, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Palm Sunday Mass. Now, Palm Sunday will only be on TikTok. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern. And chat, of course, will be turned off because the trolls can't act like normal human beings. And so we turn the chat completely off. And so Sunday, tomorrow at 8 p.m., we have Bible study. So it's a special day, especially tomorrow. So make sure you can join us as we enter into Holy Week. All right. So for those of you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, and Rumble, please join us. Make sure, come on over to TikTok, Bishop James Long, all one word, Bishop James Long. And if you don't do that, then hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bible study. Remember, I tell you all the time, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You're priceless. And don't let any troll who's demonically oppressed tell you or convince you otherwise. Good night.